What's going on, everybody? It's me, Alex, or the Monk Pickle here, and today I've got some more War Thunder content for you guys. Today I'll be flying out the F-82e with gun-pods, arguably for me the best American fighter in the game at up to tier 4. If flown properly. In this match today, guys, you will see me my entire team get reduced down to nothing in about 5 minutes. So I'm here, I've climbed to 6,000, so the first thing you want to do in this plane is only good at altitude. Japanese fighters are turn fighters. You will never beat them at low altitude. I advise climbing to at least 5 to 6,000 meters, preferably more. I climbed about 5,000, and I see a G5N1. I decide to go on that guy. Don't lose your altitude. You want to keep this altitude. Drop maybe 1,000 meters, but always go back up. A lot of people give this plane hate because they say it's unplayable. That's because they're trying to turn fight with Japanese fighters. This plane is a boom and zoomer. It's one of the fastest fighters in the game, especially at 5.0. If you just drive in a straight line with weapon or a slight decrease, you will be able to outrun any enemy. This plane starts out with 6 M3s. My favorite weapon in the entire game. And then with a gun pod, it gets 8 more. These things will shoot anything apart. A lot of times, for fighters, it just takes 1 burst. Bombers, maybe more. But that's it. So, checklist. We've got to 6,000 meters. We want to keep our speed. You want to be at least 400 or 500 kilometers an hour. You want to level your plane out, and you fly. As you can see down there, my team is getting pretty much slaughtered. The only planes that stand a chance at turning with the Japanese are Spitfires. And even those don't stand much of a chance. They're just getting slaughtered. I saw that G5N1. I'm getting ready to engage. So far, our team has not been fully, whatever you call it, attacked yet. They are not all over at it. And so, a guide for climbing is you want to side climb in this plane. You don't want to climb straight at the enemy, because then you'll just drive straight into them and they'll kill you. You want to climb along the side of the map or at an angle, like to the east or west. You don't want to go straight for the base. These are heavy problems with American teams, such as the P-51, the P-51, the P-47, and the F-82. They just go straight for the enemy base, and then they try to turn fight with Japs at low altitude. At high altitude, you'll be able to just club them. This plane consistently, if you fly up here, you can get 2 to 3 kills a match. I've gotten up to 6. This is just the one I recorded. So let's get into this. This plane is pretty good. I like it. A lot of people hate it because it doesn't have any turning ability is pretty bad, and it locks up and dives past 600 kilometers an hour, which is a problem. However, it has speed. It has firepower, and it has good climb rate. All you need to kill Japs. So, now that we're about here, we are getting... Okay, I see the G5. I turn around. This G5N1 doesn't really stand much of a chance against F-82. I'm just too fast. His gunners are just not going to be good enough. He will get a couple shots into me, though. That's pretty bad. So I'm flying straight at him right now. This plane's speed can be a disadvantage, though. A lot of times you might overshoot or something like that because you're just too slow. It does not have air brakes or anything to slow it down, and it retains pretty well. So sometimes you overshoot enemies. However, if you fly in a straight line, you will outrun any of these Japanese planes. I've gotten a lot of sticky situations just by flying away, and then the enemy will be so slow, and I'll just turn around and head on them, and they won't stand a chance. And a head-on with 850 cals in the front, like centrally mounted. So I like this plane. Not much else to say about that. It's first of all a sexy plane. I mean, this thing just looks amazing. I mean, it's also it's also bad. Its battle rating is probably one of the luckiest in the game, is a 5.0 battle rating. And most of the time you will not see more than 5.7. I've seen a couple matches, oh, and I just completely overshooted there, but I've seen a couple matches where I have seen 6.0, but mostly down tiering, or staying at the same tier. Like, there are B-25s in my matches with this thing, and this thing has cannons that the American jets have, not cannon, but MGs. Like the F-80, F-84, and the first two Sabres have the same guns as these, and this one has more. This is more firepower than some of the jets. And you can see here, I'm now behind the G5, and he just doesn't have much. He does have some 20 millimeters, I think. I think he has 20 millimeters. I don't know. So I'm trying to evade a little. However, I don't know if he could. I'm just way too fast. You see there, he tries to fire off a little. I just fire a burst. Some bursts. I hit him. This plane can be kind of hard to aim, and I lit him on fire. Just made sure I lit 2 engines on fire just in case one went out. And he will be going down quite shortly. Now, I don't see any by this time I'm the last one on my team, or one of the last ones on my team. And there are still 4 enemies out there. So I spend about 5-10 minutes flying around looking for enemies, and you can see coming up in a second we will be closing in on one of those enemies that I finally found. Okay, here we go, guys. I spotted another G5 attacking the airfield, said we got attack, and I see him flying low. I thought about diving. I was starting to get my approach. It's a small dive, didn't want to gain too much speed. Oh, but there he goes. He got taken out by AA. AAA got him. The Stalin's radar guarded missiles. I mean, the AA in this game is completely overpowered. So that's the end of that. And then another enemy actually crashed too. A destroyer shot him down. So now there's one enemy left? Did I say 4 earlier? It was 3. Now there's 1 enemy left, and I've been flying around for another 5-6 minutes, and I had not found him yet. So I started to check ground targets. I'm going for medium tanks, just trying to get some extra RP. Oh, and I spot the enemy. And I go into a turn, I try to hit on him, and we fly straight at each other. And I thought I might be able to kill this guy in this pass, but he breaks off, and I'm not able to get any shots at him. He did get a couple shots at me, but they sparked, so that was just fine. So now I put myself in a small climb, just try to gap the distance, increase the distance. So he's trailing behind me. As you can see, I'm outrunning him, out-climbing him. This guy, pretty easy. We actually fight for quite a while after we have quite a few failed hit-on passes, but that's just me and him. He pulls off a lot, and I also have not the best aim in the world. My aim, I'm still trying to. This is why I'm still trying to get used to this plane. I had everything unlocked because I talisman this thing so I could get jets. But the M3s, they're different because they don't have very much drop, and that's about that. Just checking to see my damage. Not really damage. Only the middle is damaged. This plane it survives quite a bit. However, against Yaks, it's fairly easy to kill. Like, this is a Jap hunting plane. Against Japs, it's probably the best thing to fight Japs with on the American team. However, for Russian combat, the Russians perform at higher higher altitudes, but they are just not as good. This thing's just not as good against them. However, I have had quite a few good games. This thing will outrun them. Against Germans, it's a little bit harder because some of the German planes, like the D-13, are faster than this plane in the TAW. So you have to be aware of that. However, normally, also the Germans also fly the same types of planes as the Americans are boom and zoomers and energy fighters. So they'll be trying to employ similar tactics to you. So the Germans, I normally go for their bombers and stuff, get a couple kills, get killed off. I mean, I'm really looking to gain RP because I'm grinding jets, but that's if you want to win, get tons of kills against the Germans. It's a bit harder, but anyway, back to the game. We've had about two or three more head-on passes, and both just sparks. No damage, and he comes in, gets behind me, can't get any shots on, and I am doing pretty much the same thing. That's how this game goes for quite a few minutes. If you want to, you can skip ahead. But this plane is definitely capable for fighting Japanese planes. You can see the rest of my team has got all picked off. I mean, you cannot fight a Japanese plane. I don't know how many Mustangs I see trying to turn with an A6M5, and then that thing literally just circles around them, and they just get slaughtered. So if you have a squad of these, like, you can get two people in together in F-82s can clear a whole enemy team. I've seen it. It's pretty easy against this type when you do this kind of play style. But that's about that. So here you go. He's behind me. I'm still gaining speed though. He is slowly leaving off, and he breaks off. I think he just got tired. Maybe he's running low on ammo. Oh, and for some reason I deployed my flaps to get a turn, and I didn't realize it exploded off. That didn't explode off, but I was going too fast. It broke. Shit happens. And now I am behind him. This is a pretty bad situation for how he can easily turn around or break off or something like that, and it would be hard for me because this plane at low altitude turns like a brick, especially at higher speeds. This thing just, you don't want to turn. Maybe if you're high enough, sometimes you're able to lead enough for a little while, but then they're just, you can't turn enough. And again, he's behind me. However, he lost energy in that turn, so I still have all my speed. I haven't lost any. He just turned around me, and I was trying to keep up. I'm kind of flying straight towards his carrier over the ocean to try to gain some distance. Maybe I should try flying over our airbase, see if we could get hit, but I was kind of looking for the kill here. And I was actually kind of unsure because I was unable to hit my shots. I was thinking that maybe the next thing he gets a lucky hit, my engine goes out and I explode. That was what I was thinking here. However, the gap is pretty far now. He is slowing. I'm almost certain he was almost out of ammo. He's been flying around for a while. And we're gonna make one last head-on pass, and it's not gonna be very good for him to say that. He starts to pull off a little. He goes in a little slightly different direction. I saw that this was pretty much my chance, and if I was gonna do it, I needed to move now. So I put myself in a turn. I don't know if he was expecting it or not. I was kind of being unpredictable at the distances, and I come in. We go on head-on pass. About a kilometer out, I fire a quick burst, and pilot. Went straight through his engine, lit him on fire. I think I might have pilot sniped him, and that's the game. As you can see, it's not hard to fly this plane. You just fly in a straight line and turn around when you're far enough away. That's about 2.5 kilometers. So I'll get about 15,000 research, and I will unlock my first American jet, the B-57A. If you haven't tried this plane out, I'd highly advise it. Try it out. If you've never tried it, or if you haven't used these tips for it, you use it. Anyway, guys, it's me, Alex, or the Monkey Pickle here, and I am out of here. Have a lovely day, everyone. Goodbye.